Peace and blessings, good people. Welcome once again to Objects in Motion. I'm your host, Matt Pressberry. I'm a man on a journey. I want to say a healing journey, a wellness, a wholeness, all that good stuff. I'm really working to keep the language in the positive to say where I'm going. So to not talk about necessarily the past and the brokenness and all of that stuff, but really just a man on a journey to better himself, to become the best version of himself that he can be. And I want to hear about other people and talk to people I know and even those who I don't know to really get a better understanding of their journeys, what they're going through, what they're working toward, and everything that they do to stay in motion. So I want to thank y'all for joining me today. I got a fantastic guest for y'all today. His brother, I don't even know how long I've known this brother, but I can definitely say when I feel like we first met was at that event that U had. I think that might have been when we first met in person. It was a cleanup. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we really gonna get into it. So take it away, my brother Jerome
All right.
Quincy
Yeah,
Kerr.
yes, indeed. My mama named me Jerome Quincy Kerr, and I'm now incorporating Jupiter Soulstar into my comedy and musical journey. That's Jupiter Soulstar has been there since the DJ, since making beats and all that other stuff. And I think this is going to be an interesting discussion, my brother, because objects in motion, without going back in the past, but just kind of touching all those key elements about what's going on now and what's happening with them. I will compartmentalize, however you say that word, into family, work, spirituality, and the purpose. The project's tied into your purpose, your God given purpose.
God.
So, 45, back with my wife now. We had a bad situation where it was really rough, but we back together now. And now we're in this apartment and trying to get our finances together into a place where we could start looking at some home ownership. With that, we have three children. They're all grown, they're all doing their own thing, but the realities of the world are definitely attacking them. Number one, this inflation and economy and stuff like that, and then just young relationships. So we're trying to manage being parents to young adults, and learning that process. Let me see. What's a good way to describe the family dynamic now, like on the most? It really feels good. There's no kids here, man. I come home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, we do have one bathroom, so me and Tasha be dancing around the toilet sometimes. If we have one more bathroom, woo woo, it'd be sweet, sweet up in here. Um, I miss the children a lot. You know, it's
Yeah.
not the same. Like when they come over and eat my food,
Mm-hmm.
I get like jealous. Like it's like a weird thing. It's like I don't want them eating my food. Like man, why you over here eating my food? But then it's like they come over and it's making me flash back to when they were little. It's like a trigger, a nostalgia trigger.
So let's stay on that real quick. When they were little, because I definitely remember when they were all little. So let's talk about that just for a minute in terms of the journey, like in fatherhood, raising your children, you and Tasha collectively, and all of that. What has the fatherhood experience really been like for you?
It evolved. It was constantly an object in motion. Um, I was a young father full of energy. Then I was this, I guess the energy was also kind of taken over, let's say, every 5 years, right? So the first 5 years of fatherhood, I had all this energy and I'm kind of nervous, but I'm just making things happen. The next 5 years, I'm feeling very optimistic. Like I have to take control of this situation. and try to make a way for my family. Then that third set of 5 years was filled with a lot of frustration and disappointments, and probably, am I doing this right? Like the kids start acting funny. Yeah, like around that time, the third, fifth year of fatherhood. Now Genesis was in school, elementary school, and Jahad was in middle school, and I couldn't really get them to do their homework and participate in the sports like I wanted them to.
Mm-hmm.
Nor did I really have the time. It was a lot. So that was like one of the most frustrating phases. Then now the fourth, fifth year, um, I've gained back this control thing. Okay, I have to control it. I've moved my whole family down to Florida. I'm a different type of father now. Now I'm laid back. My daughter's in college. My sons are older, so I'm trying to be a cool father. Got a Mustang, you know what I mean? 5.0. Just trying to be
Mm-hmm.
a cool father. Like, all right, now they're going to be ready to engage in academics and sports like I want them to, because I was seeing that was kind of a good way for them to transition into manhood, right? Um, and that was challenged. That was challenged by now their environment and their elements and their, adolescence. So yeah, to really kind of sum it up, like it was a constant evolving thing, and the best words of wisdom that I got was actually from our boy Stan Robinson, Substantial.
My man.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
We were riding when we were working at the Covenant House, and I was telling him about sacrificing and stuff. I can't do this, I can't do that because I got these kids. And he was like, well, honestly, if you're not, especially as an artist, if you're not pursuing your art and working on your projects as a father and still taking care of your family and stuff like that, then you're not being the best father that you
Mm-hmm.
possibly can. You're not showing them your creative side. You're not giving them the full you. You're just giving them the I work and take bills types of pops. So I think that's why maybe those third and fifth and the third and fourth, generation of the 5 years, around 15, 20 years into fatherhood, it became so challenging because I was trying to do it all. I'm trying to do the family,
Yeah.
trying to do the fatherhood thing, but I'm also was really pouring a lot of energy into my own different, passion projects, things that I had going on.
Yeah, and I know a lot of us can relate, and I really want to get into that. But I want to also touch on something when you talked about what Stan said to you, because I was thinking like, for as long as I've known you, you've been an artist in a multitude of ways, and like hanging with you and seeing you with the kids, I know you always encouraged everyone, like everyone around you, I feel like, to be artistic. And is interesting because I wondered like where that came from necessarily. So to hear that at least part of it, if not all of that push to really involve the kids, you're saying that kind of was spurred by Stan Substantial.
Yeah, because I was naturally an artist, so I've been doing these artsy fartsy things anyway. But as we get into this realms of fatherhood, you feel and you hear it from society that you have to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do all these things that you maybe used to do or used to pursue because now the bills are due. I mean, like right now on this comic journey that I'm on, comedian Damian Davis, my man Wolf Dollar Bill, my man Pocket Knife, my man DC 813. All of these people, maybe comedian Miss Quinn. I think her her daughter might be older, but all of these people have young children. I don't think Miss comedian Miss Quinn got young children, but you know, you get my point.
Yeah, yeah,
They're trying to incorporate uh, one getting nice with the art, you know what I mean, creating it at whatever time. That's difficult with time management and project management. When are you going to do that? and then actually go out and perform it, man, these guys are sacrificing so much. And, sometimes their wives are getting on them because now
Yeah.
their wives got to stay home and watch the baby. And it looks like you're just out in the club for 5, 6 hours. But the truth is, you get there at 6 o'clock, 6:30, ready to perform, but they may not call you up until 10 o'clock.
Mm.
So that can translate over to whatever genre of art. You know what I mean? Going to the studio, going to the open mic poetry thing, whatever, a person, interested in. When you have the children, balancing that out, it's very tough. And if you don't have the support of the other person that your other counterpart, let it be your husband or your wife or whatever, that's another it's another scenario in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, it's another whole scenario.
And then on top of that, what we need and oftentimes don't have time for, especially with younger children, is time for ourselves, especially as men. So that's part of really what I'm coming to realize now, and what I talk about a lot, just from my own dealings and going to Colombia and all of that stuff. I know people probably gonna get tired of me talking about Colombia, but that's one of the reasons I went, is because I needed to center myself and have something that's really just for me. And oftentimes, us as men, we don't have those sorts of things. I talk to other men, or even like in the group, you and Black Fathers, somebody put up a
Mm-hmm.
post and be like, "Men, what do you do that's just for you?" And a lot of times people are like, "Nothing." So do you feel like your art is part of that outlet to really have that thing for yourself, and even the comedy and other forms of art, DJing and all of that stuff?
Now, no, I'm gonna say that's not my outlet for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it can be like when I make beats sometimes, and it's not necessarily uh, with the idea or a DJ mix. I'm not trying to produce nothing. I'm just making some beats or
Right.
whatever. The comedy journey has been more um, of an evolution of self, where I had a preacher basically ask me, have you asked God what your purpose is?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I tried to get on. I was trying to tell him some real stuff, like, I feel like if you follow your passion, you know that's where your purpose is. Like, follow your passions. And we basically got in this argument, and this wasn't too long ago, and he was like, no, you need to just forget that. Don't ever think about that, because I could be passionate about playing pool. I could be passionate about going to the strip club. I could be passionate about a lot of things, but that don't necessarily have to do with your purpose. So you need to be quiet, sit your ass down, ask God what your purpose is. So that has a lot of work. So when I'm trying to do something for myself, I'll even share it on Facebook. Like, I'll intentionally go to the park and draw, or I'll intentionally sit down and read, or I'll intentionally go play a little drum at the beach or something. So I do have some things that I have incorporated for myself, and for the years, even when I had the children at the house, um, if I'd get up early and smoke and work out a little bit, I would
Mm-hmm.
but you have to create those windows for yourself. You can't like
Yeah.
blame, because I have these responsibilities, I don't have time for myself. You just have to create a window for yourself and still take care of the responsibility.
I'm glad you said that, because I agree 1,000%. We really have to make that time, and it's important what you said too. If you have a partner, it's important that your partner really supports you, because we could say all day, "I'm going to make this time, I'm going to do that," but then you have your partner who's like, "No, you ain't. You're going to watch these kids, or you're going to do this and that." So what, in terms of that and the support for you doing your thing and in the ways that you do it, how is Tasha been in terms of a support?
Well, I whipped Tasha in shape a long time ago. I got her down straight. But I mean, all jokes aside, man, what happened with us was I was blessed to start off having kids when I was first learning about the 5% Nation,
Mm,
you know, and I was into that real heavy as well as the roster thing and Tasha Lozado, Erica Badu rap, you know, Baltimore Rites of Passage, you know,
mm,
and all that stuff. So we had kind of a nice little start where for a long time I knew consciously that, and Baba Adamola taught me that the man doesn't, especially here in America, the man doesn't necessarily run a relationship. The woman doesn't necessarily run it. It's equality, you know, and then that
mm,
comes out of the 5% nation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm.
and now you got this sun and earth and moon and stuff. Like, you can't expect the sun to do what the earth is gonna do. Type metaphor, but it's still equal. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
as
yeah.
the man, I didn't feel, uh, you know, like I was being bitched if I had to do more work for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like that's what would make it equal, you know, and then vice versa. When she had to pick up some of the things, you know, more than most, she gave me that type of energy too. We just made it happen, you know. So as long as you're not blatantly, you know, disregarding the other person and making
Right,
it hard for them,
right.
you know, I think it doesn't matter who has to do more or less, you know, because if I had to do more for 3 months, you may have to do more for 2 months, you know, who knows, you know, but it'll all work out. And,
Yeah, and we don't always have that balance. I know, speaking for myself, I can
yeah,
think of times when I was messing up and it would be like you know, I got into this thing in my mind where I'm saying, all right, if I just do it when she first asked me, then I don't have to worry about her nagging me about it. So I try to go ahead and get it done and make sure it happens. That sort of thing. So to make sure that I'm working to carry my weight and be as supportive as she has been to me. Um and staying on the topic with you and Tasha, you brought it up, so we'll jump into it. As far as the relationship, the separation, the coming back together, and that whole sort of thing. Talk to us about that, because I know, you know, especially in this day and age, we have a tendency to kind
ooh,
of
you made
focus
me
on
hot just talking about that. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off, man.
uh-oh. But we have a tendency to, number one, a lot of us, you know, don't necessarily work to keep the relationship together or to bring it back together. Like a lot of us, we say, you know, we give up
Right.
easy and so on and so forth. So I think it's real to me personally. I don't know about anybody else, but to me, it was very inspirational. And even thinking now in my own situation currently, you know what I mean, to think of where you all were and where you are now. So just give us a little piece of that, where you were, where you are now, and how that all came
Okay.
through.
All right. It ties back into, like I said, those evolutions of fatherhood, 5 year increments,
Hmm.
right? The natural, you've been together for 7 years, 10 years. A lot of couples go through different ups and downs around those times, right? So we went through all of those natural things that, you know, I don't think we even have to point them out, just natural
Right.
things that the couples go through, right?
Hmm.
But now, as we're getting over 35, over 40, as the man, I'll speak from the manhood side, I'm getting more solid about what I want and what I need and stuff like that, right? And my ideals of how I think it should be. Because now I'm getting into my rigid phase. Now it's got to be a certain way.
Mm.
And because things aren't going my way, you know, that's when I started go looking outside and stuff. Not trying to, and I'll share it here with everybody. I tried the polygamous route
Mm.
because I knew that um, going out and just trying to get a side piece, that isn't even what I really wanted, you know, based off of my perceptive needs at the time. I thought I just needed more compassion, more opportunities for sex, availability sex, and just something that would be more energetic, right? So I go pursue that, and sure enough, it happens. I present it.
Mm.
I'm thinking it's going to be a great polygamous situation, and it fails,
uh,
and she gets mad, and she gives me the ultimatum. Now you have to choose between her and me, and it's like, oh no. So I told you I'm rigid in this rigid faith. No,
mm-hmm.
I'm choosing me, and you're not gonna make me choose. She's like, okay, well, I'll see you later. You know what I mean? And she left, man.
Yeah.
And right, so I'm trying to use this for couples who've been together over 20 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you've been together 20 plus years. It's not the same breakup like it was back in the day. You're very, you have this very strong, almost diamond perfected ideal of who you are and what you need now, you know. And I think it's sad because we didn't even learn that there was still so much more growing to go after that. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
man. Mm.
You thought you was the man then. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm 40, 43. This is it. No.
Yes, sir.
There's so much more crumbling and so much more textures and so many more complexities that we didn't even consider, you know. So without sharing everything,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that really brought us back was the reality of I was I was falling apart because I was losing people that I loved a lot. They were dying.
Mm.
Some had two of them had I lost two people to the suicide realm. However they decided to transition, and other people were just dying naturally around our age and stuff. And I'm looking for this compassion at home, and I'm not getting it. And it's because she was going through medical things, but didn't want to share them with me. You know, so while she's trying to manage herself and protect herself and just figure it out. She didn't even know how to be with me, and I just pulled away, trying to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does that help everybody else? The most real shit is when these women start getting over 35, 40. They're now different women. They're not these sweet little 16-year-old teeny boppers that we remember, or even 25, 33. you know. Not that that's not sweet at over 35, 40. They're still beautiful women, but they're going through a lot of different things. So much more anxieties about the world, so many more medical concerns and stuff that they may not be able to comfortably talk to us about, especially with a guy like me that likes to make jokes. Oh, don't tell me about your pussy problems. I don't want to hear no pussy problems. You gonna make it nasty for me. Oh, you in there talking to your sister. Y'all having the pussy
Mm-hmm.
parade. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I made it almost uncomfortable. She basically respected my wishes. Told her, don't talk to me about that stuff.
Mm.
So we as men maybe are pushing our women out in ways that we don't even realize, maybe jokingly or seriously. Like we're still expecting this, TikTok, little internet, make me sweat,
Yeah.
make me don't,
Yeah.
like Shorty been sweating all day at work. Got she
Mm-hmm.
got no more sweat for you,
Yep.
and it's like uh that's just weird that we're kind of in this phase. Maybe it would have been nice if somebody could have schooled us on that was going to happen, but we're in the first generation of this. You know, men having this much access to technology and looking at all the, just
Oh yeah.
everything
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time. It's not just
Yep.
the kids.
Yep.
Mhm.
Definitely. So that gives us, to an extent, I think, a false idea in a lot of ways of what things are supposed to be. Plus, it
Mhm.
just makes you even hornier. So you just wanted
Yeah.
more. You expecting them to be able to put out the drop of a dime and all that kind of.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, man. Oh man, it's something. So talk to me like about the dynamic now. And I know that one thing, like a lot of people in relationships, like people say, I married my best friend and I did this and I did that. But I really love when I see people who I think are like true friends. Like it's easy to say that, but I feel like y'all are real friends and y'all have fun together and all of that type of stuff. What do you say about that?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've been using this metaphor when I try to explain it to the young bloods because they ask me about the how do you make the relationship work. And I just be like, man, it's real simple. Y'all making it too complicated. You just got to find somebody that you really love, that love you, and be
Mhm.
like, all right, it's me and you against the world? Okay. Me and you against the world. Come on, get in the car. And if she can get in the car with you and y'all can ride and she ain't gonna talk you to death or she ain't gonna ignore you to
Mhm.
death, she ain't gonna grab the wheel, make you crash, she ain't gonna take you out to a destination, you know. She lets you know when she need to get out and it's like for a good reason. She kind of keep you on course if you falling asleep at the wheel. That's a good woman, man. It ain't no you're a high value man, she's a high value woman. None of that. It's like it's a combination of uh, just some real basic, like natural things that happen with people when they get together, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
feel it or not feel it, but then there's also the common sense that has to be applied for them with their timeline, because we have sons and daughters that now, they have to take all this stuff into consideration because it's dangerous for them. It's dangerous for our sons to be messing with their women, some of these women, because they'll get hurt. And I'm not just talking about your feelings, like, oh, you
Yeah.
hurt me. Like, no, they could set you up and kill you. No, they could give you a disease that'll change your life. Like, so while we maybe didn't have all of that, coming down on us, they do, and it's affecting their abilities to make relationships. So I guess I don't know. I might have jumped off with how me and Tasha being friends relate to that, but
No, but that's good though. That's
yeah,
definitely
we
that's
we
definitely
just we just see the difference. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? We're able
yeah.
to see the difference, and
And I think it's just a lot about personalities too. Like especially for you, like you said, you make a lot of jokes, and you need somebody who can love you for that and live with that. Like some people don't. Some people are like, leave me alone. All you do is joke all the time and so on and so forth. So I think
right.
just knowing y'all and from anytime we hang out, it ain't nothing but a party. So I know how you bring it every time. So you gotta have a woman who love and respect that. That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's the double side of it because like I work from home, so it's really tough for me because I'm here isolated all day. It's just me and the tortoise T Pain. I
Mhm.
might take him outside or something. How exciting is that to walk your tortoise, right? So when she come home, I'm ready. Come on, baby, make me sweat.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to, So it can be very difficult. So it's like the friendship thing is like some real friendship thing. Like,
Yeah.
do you respect how this person feels? Do you like? Why would you even put them in this position if you kind of already know what they got going on? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Do you
So
love
that
the woo or not? If you don't love the woo, I can't. You know what I mean? It's
right,
them
right,
sorts of things,
yeah.
right?
So that's where 26 plus years in now, the friendship has got to. It's like that's where you'll feel disrespected. If she come home and everything, you know what I'm saying, is like totally in disarray,
Mm-hmm.
like just out of control, you know what I'm saying, and we got something to do, like that I'm sure she would feel disrespected. Like, why wouldn't you try to pull it together? Like, I've been gone all day or whatever. Even though I'm here working, it's it's that thing of trying. Same thing with me. Something simple as you ordering food or getting food. Like, come on, you know I'm hungry. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be hungry. So all those little small things of like your real friend that you would just hang out with, like would you leave them hanging
Right, right, right.
on any little thing? So that really balanced out all that kind of younger desires and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
I feel you.
we can have a peaceful home. We can still do intimate time when it's intimate time, but
Right.
the biggest thing is like family and business and these God-given purposes that we're really tapping into now. Um, and that feels a lot better. It really feels really
Yeah.
good.
That's what's up. And speaking of family, how the kids?
The kids are well.
That's what's up.
Jasmine is, uh, I'm going to tell on Jasmine because
Yeah.
this might help other fathers with daughters. So, my daughter has three children now, and one of them is less than a month old, right? And she's like, "Oh, pops, I'm just, I'm so overwhelmed, and I just wish I had some money to myself, just something, so I could buy, some sunglasses or whatever." I'm like, "Okay, well, you got at least 4 hours out the week. I know you got three children, newborn, and all that, but you got at least 4 hours out the week to start organizing your life and figuring out your business plan of how you can make some money. You know what I mean? And then after that, you got at least 4 hours a week to try to make some money, you know? So do that, and man, she came back, how people create vision boards and stuff like
Yeah.
that? She came back with basically a whole like digital vision board and
Wow.
business plans. I mean, something that it looked like it took 4 hours to make. So, so I was inspired by that. And those are just some of the things that's going on. My son, both of the sons are doing well, just working and trying to make it in this Florida economy.
Yeah.
Uh,
No babies for them yet, right?
no, no
Not yet.
babies for them. They're being very conscious of that, as far as I know.
Were you surprised at all that Jasmine had kids first before them?
Kind of, but I kind of, honestly, I feel bad, but I just kind of had to detach my whole heart with Jasmine early
Mm.
because you're so protective to your baby girl. When she
Yes.
went off to college, it was like I went to almost so many seminars about, how to be a good father and how to, let these young adults go off and be young adults that, um, it was whatever her world, whatever her decisions were. I just trusted that that's what she really wanted to do and stuff like that. So I didn't have any, no, like, I was making a bet on who would have kids first. So,
Hmm. And I think it's just something about us. I guess part of it is like what you said. We so protective, and it's like it's not whether we think our girls are going to have kids or not. Is that we don't even most of the time we don't even want to think about our girls having sex, let alone being pregnant.
right.
But we had that double standard where it's like the boys is like, oh yeah, he getting it. We going I'm big grandfather, yada yada. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Where we have those kinds of different sets of standards for our boys and girls.
Yeah.
To a large point. But let me ask you this because we're gonna wrap up here. I try not to keep people too long, but I want to ask you. I know we got into it a little bit, and if you could just say it again, if you already said it, or not, if you haven't said it. But like, what do you do that's really just for you, and then also a little bit touch on even if this is not necessarily just for you, but go with that one first. Let's go with that one because I don't want to mess you up too much. But things you do that are strictly for Jupiter Soulstar.
Just for me,
Yeah.
I really do enjoy reading. Got some books. I'm not an avid reader. I don't read every day, but I got comic books, So I enjoy going just to the comic book store. I got an old classic boom box and been collecting a lot of just old hip hop tapes. And that's like a metaphysical experiment that's actually been working. Uh, and, and that's pretty much it, you know.
I hear you. And
Yeah,
then
I don't have a whole lot of things that I do. Yeah, just I would say whatever they are, they're simple things, almost free. You know, if
yeah.
they're not free, they're to do something that's free, like the boombox thing with the tapes and stuff, just so
Hmm.
I can take it now and listen to music. You know what I mean? Anytime I want classic hip hop tape or something, Diggable Planet. You know.
And every time I come down, it's like something new. I feel like in terms of the I guess we could talk about mental well being and even physical. Like you done told me some things as far as having these pains and stuff like that. But talk to us a little bit, just real quick, about the sound bowl. I want to really get more into that because I haven't gotten myself one, but I really felt that when we was messing around with that. I don't want to, you know what I mean, devalue it, but you know, we was getting it in with the sound bowl. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Tasha and I actually went to Mosaic Miami and had a great experience. Sound therapy
Hmm.
is based off of ancient healing techniques where they recognize and acknowledge how vibrations emitted from different things, especially natural things, can trigger healing and different types of remissions of different problems in the body and stuff like that. And it's really good. Um, I actually have a brother right now that's in the hospital. I'm gonna be going to check him tonight, but I took it to him in the hospital. Like, hey man, you know, you talking about you stuck in this room. You know, give this some things that the vibrations heal you and stuff like that. Uh, Ross P. Dow from the Modern Antique. He used to be there in Baltimore and stuff like that. The One of the original Nyabingi elders from Jamaica, Smithsonian actually brought him over. He would talk about the vibrations and the sounds and the rhythms and how they produce healing. And this was something that I learned, 20, 30 years ago. And just incorporating that into the life, activities, I see how it has been beneficial. Um, and even Sun Ra, Sun Ra brings up the Bible point where they say, make a joyful what unto the Lord? Make a joyful what?
Noise.
Noise. And we're not talking about music,
Right.
noise.
Noise.
Make a
Yeah.
joyful noise. You know what I mean? So it ain't got to be like a dun 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 dun, just I don't
There
know.
it is. Yeah.
What I'm saying? Just a joyful
Yeah.
noise.
And
And
that's really what I love about you, that whole spirit and a lot of things that you do. And I'm inspired because like I was just out earlier working. I just bought this bike for $25 from a garage,
yeah,
and I see you on your bike and all that kind of stuff. And I love it because for one thing, you know, we in this society especially, we think like, oh, we get a certain age and we need to just stop doing these sorts of things that we used to do when we were younger. But I really love that. I feel like you don't ascribe to that or prescribe to that. You know what I'm saying? And you're really free with a lot of things and do like what you feel, regardless of what anybody else thinks or says about it. Am I on point there or am I off?
no, you're on point, and that came from a Tai Chi lesson and philosophy of what was it? As we grow older, we should aim to be more childlike,
Mm,
and it's not like like a kid or nothing like that, but childlike means innocent. Childlike means flexible. Childlike means a little bit of carefree, but like, have you ever seen a kid at the playground about to get kicked in the back of the head in
yeah,
front of the swing, but
yeah,
they just bend over at that perfect time
yeah,
and then they just walk away?
Yeah,
and nothing happens to them. You know what I mean? So it's
definitely.
like carefree, but you're aware, and you're conscious of what's happening. You're not gonna let harm come to you, but you're not gonna be afraid and being active. So if you try to do these things as you grow older, the ancient people who incorporated these practices, those are the people who are 80, 90 years old. And you've seen them. I've definitely
Mm-hmm.
seen them. Those are the people that inspire me. They are 70, 80 years old out on the basketball court,
Yes.
or running man, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all these type of guys that we've been seeing, and sisters that we've been seeing, they've just been laying the example. So you don't have to do it all day long, but do a little something. Go outside, play for a little bit. Go have recess. It's free.
No doubt. No. Let me ask you this. So, one question that I like: do you have any affirmations per se, or any quotes or anything that you necessarily reinforce in your mind?
Just breathing techniques. I really work on that. There is the breathing of technique of when you breathe in. I inhale, I am strong as a mountain. When I exhale, I'm flowing like a river. And then you could make that whatever, you know what I mean? But you get my point, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like two positive affirmations in a row, consciously aligning it with your breath. Or sometimes you don't even have to have an affirmation, just really focusing on your breath and being present.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am not my body. That's a big one. Uh, and I can break that one down a little bit. Let's see. I'll use the objects that I have. So this this remote here, this lighter, and this blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got uh, mind, body, and spirit. You know what I mean? Oh man, I just made a mess.
Mm.
Um,
In the spirit.
okay, so mind, body, and spirit. You got those three things, right? But none of those are you. You're not your body. You're not your mind, and You definitely ain't no fucking spirit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Now you got all these different buttons on there. You got a lot of different spirits. Some of them are high spirits. Some of them are low spirits. Right? Uh, I forgot which one was your mind, but your mind controls kind of, you know what I'm saying, your body and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And to some extent, your mind can even control those spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're feeling defeated and down, you now have to, with your mind, go find one of those higher spirits and tap into that, right?
Yeah.
Well, all of that has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? You, the flame.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's the true you, and that has nothing to do with your body, how your body feel, how your mind feel, or even how them spirits is attacking you. It's that you really got to work on that. That's the true you. That's why we really here. That's connected to God. That is the God. Find your purpose, and you know what I mean. Use that flame to channel everything else, and whatever else happens, it's all good. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It
I
don't
love
matter.
it. So
Yeah.
let me ask this. I got two more questions, and we definitely gonna wrap this up, man. I appreciate
Okay.
the time too, for real. The one thing I got into this thing, when I got my fibromyalgia, when I got the diagnosis, I've been had it, but in
Right.
terms of counting wins, and like for everything that goes wrong, like not focusing on the negative, but really focusing on the positive. So I want you to tell me within whatever time frame you want to today, this week, this month, whatever it was, give me one or two of your wins.
Oh, of my wins?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to transition over to my comedy journey. Let me tell
Okay.
y'all about that. So this comedy journey, I'm 7, maybe 8 months in now, including this month because we're halfway in. Started really strong in February. Um, I've been trying some new jokes because I have built up a really good set, but now I'm trying to figure out some new jokes. But basically, every time I get on stage, I'm funny. I have a strong opening. Um, this week, I gave myself about a 6.5 because I made it to 2 of the 3 mics that I could have went to. One of them just didn't work out, and that was a big win. I had a lot of people there that was in the audience as well as other comedians that I'm working with to check me out. So I got some great feedback. Um, and they legitimately laughed at the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
that's a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Not that phony like we just want to make you feel better, kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
We don't want you to feel bad. We're gonna ha ha ha.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So on that note, what is the future looking like? The nearest future. Talk to us. I know you're doing the comedy thing and all that. You got shows coming up, and what else is going on?
The nearest future is Baltimore
Oh,
and Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia, October 22nd through the 27th. Going up there to visit my mama and hopefully do some open mic comedy. Uh, I'm gonna do my best to make some events there, but we're also doing our best to get to Greensboro to see the baby. So
mm,
that's a whole lot. And then my man said they're having a birthday party for my man, and I shouldn't even say that. I'm probably live or whatever because it's supposed to be a surprise. But
oh yeah. Well, I'm just recording it, but it's
oh, okay, but yeah, I might be in B more too during that week. Um,
okay. You're not sure
but
when the date on Baltimore?
yeah, yeah. But if I do, it's just gonna be like for a few hours, and I had to turn back around, get back to Richmond.
Okay.
Um, but I'm on to come back up there before the year is out, specifically just to do comedy. That's one of the goals. So,
Got you. Okay. Okay. Because I'm going up the 27th. I was trying to see if it lined up at all. Um,
okay, yeah.
all right. So we're going to wrap it up now. This has been a fantastic conversation, brother. I
Oh man, thank you.
appreciate you for joining us. And
Yeah,
the last thing, I don't want to do this all the time with people on social media handles and all of that, but because I know that you're doing the comedy thing and you do that sort of thing, just throw it out there. Like if people want to get information on your shows and all of that, like where can they follow you and all?
please, please, please check me out at the Real JQK on Instagram, or come over and see my whole government situation on Facebook at Jerome Quincy Kerr, Kerr. The Kerr is actually the sound of the like the sound that the money makes when it comes out the ATM, like
Mm.
you can't forget that.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
but yeah, I really appreciate this time. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for letting
Likewise,
me be a part of your show. I know it's going to be big because everything you do turns to be gigantic.
I
So
appreciate that.
I'm just glad to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much.
My man, a lot of love to you, brother. And again, thank you for taking your time out today and joining us. I appreciate you, brother.
All
This,
right, Sante Sana, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashay, this has been another episode of Objects in Motion with Matt Pressberry. I will see you next time. Peace.
Uncle Ja Seneb. Peace.
Objects in motion.